Hey guys, I'm back with a little progress report on my Project 1.9 Everest scale rig. I gotta come up with a cooler name for it, it's kind of lame. But it's only been 2 days since my first video, and I haven't exactly been working on this the whole time. It went together really fast. I probably 2 hours of wrenching on this total, and half of that was putting the wheels and tires together. There's the chassis. It's all mocked up. I mean, the shocks aren't exactly at the angle they need to be. I used whatever I had for spacers. I got more parts coming for it. There's no oil in the shocks. It's just half-ass screwed together just to see how stuff lined up. And I got my body in. I'm using the Viterra K10 Chevy Truggy body. Not sure what year it was supposed to be. I never even looked. But I knew I had to have one when I saw that kit come out, and I don't need another Ascender because I have one sitting right over there actually. So this was really the basis of this whole project, was just to have something to use this body on, because I think it looks awesome. I think it's going to be a great looking rig when it's done. Of course, like everything else I have going on, I've got to wait for paint weather to finish that. That body's pretty sweet. All Viterra bodies are sweet. But back on the chassis, as you can see, let me get out my original Everest 10. There's quite a difference in the layout now. This is quite a bit lower slung. The weight is down a lot lower in the chassis than it was before. The links are more parallel to the ground. That wheelbase actually got a little longer. Don't mind my wiring mess, I still haven't fixed that. It's been too cold to go down in the garage and fuck around with that thing. Now the wheelbase, with the body I'm using, the wheelbase might be an issue, but with this body, there's no cut in stone place where that rear axle is supposed to be. I may make custom links and shorten that, I probably will, because the rest of it has gone so much easier than I expected it to. These X-Trails chassis rails were a direct bolt-on to that transmission plate for this truck. There's 2 screw holes, and then there's a locating pin on each side of that plate, and there was 3 holes in these chassis rails that it locked right into, like it was specifically built for it. And I thought that this was the mock-up, and now the real work was going to have to start, and I think my fucking video stopped. Now I thought the mock-up was done, the initial part anyway. Now the real work's going to start. Because I need something to solid that up. There's a lot of play in those frame rails, just because they hang out there. So what I thought I had to do, I was in Lowe's and I bought some of this aluminum rod. It's just 1/4 inch aluminum rod. I was going to take it to my buddy's house and put it on his lathe and cut it at the length that I need to go in between here and just drill and tap 3mm holes in each end. So use typical 3M stainless steel screws and just line up a couple holes here and there, maybe the shock towers, front and back of the frame rails. And that's what I was going to do. It was simple enough, but it was going to be time consuming. And just before I made the final plans to go do that, I got out my little magic ruler and I measured my frame rails. And I got thinking, well, I should look, because a very wise man told me one time that if you can buy something, don't fucking make it. I mean, yeah, I'm able to make that with my buddy's lathe, and it'd be easy enough, but I'd probably waste a half a day with him fucking around making them things. And I don't know about you, my time is worth something. I don't have that much free time. And if I can buy the parts for a reasonable amount of money, there's no sense in wasting my time making it. Unless you really have a hard-on to run a machine and do it yourself that way. I mean, some people are like that. So, I looked into it, I measured it, and what I found out, now pay attention because this is the only valuable piece of information you're going to get off this video. These lower links on the G-Made Komodo are exactly 78 millimeters. And as luck would have it, it is exactly 78 millimeters to match the width of that transmission plate from the Red Cat Everest 10. So if you got any inclination to make an Everest 10 into a scaler, and you need something to support your frame rails if you're doing it right, the lower links for a G-made Komodo will get the job done for you. Just dumb luck. They're like $9 for 4 of them. I've got 8 of them coming. I've got more than I need. So that solved that problem. Now the wheelbase. I talked a little bit about it earlier. I'm going to get back to the wheelbase because it could be a problem the way I've got it laid out right now. Because this son of a bitch is pretty long wheelbase. Let me get that Komodo out of the way. And my video is turning into a clusterfuck here. I have too much stuff. I also have the Vatera Ascender, which is kind of known for having a really long wheelbase. I think it's about as long as wheelbase you can get in a 1.9 scalar market. And this Everest 10 setup is about a ½ inch longer wheelbase. I think this might be right on the limit of what's legal if you're into organized stuff, which I'm not. But I may want to shorten that. Just it'll make it easier to fab up a bumper that doesn't look retarded and stuff like that. And having that Vatera Ascender is why I didn't just go buy the Vatera Ascender to get this body, because I didn't really want another one. Now you're probably watching this thinking, wow, this idiot's got all these expensive trucks. Why is he fucking around with an Everest 10? I mean, I've got these, I've got a axial deadbolt, I've got a Wraith, I've got a Yeti, I've got a couple Tamiya crawlers, I've got a lot of stuff. And it probably doesn't make sense to some people why I would custom build an Everest 10, the cheapest thing I own. I don't know, it just, it appeals to me. There's something special about getting more than you pay for when you buy something. And you can go on any RC forum on the internet and everyone's building $1,000 axial rig. I don't want to do that. I want to build something that doesn't cost so goddamn much. I mean, yeah, I've got money into it. The frame rails, the shocks, the wheels. There's some money there. Not a lot. I still don't have nearly the cost of a deadbolt, which is $300 out of the gate, which is pretty well known for being the best bang for your buck in the scalar market right now. So that's where we are with this project anyways. I know I kind of wandered all over on this video. I apologize for that, but I'll be back with part 3 when I get my lower links in and get them screwed to my chassis and rigid that up. I might end up using this after all because I think to change my wheelbase I'm going to make some custom links for the back. And if we do that, I'll take this over to my buddy's lathe and we'll do those the hard way just so I can show you how it's done, in case you don't know or give a shit. I'll see you guys later.